Let's proceed to create our first Wealth and Protect item. You open up Wealth and Protect, click the Create button. Wealth and Protect items are created at an entity level. So in this case, let's choose Matthew and Jane Lyon, the joint account. You can toggle between wealth and protection items. I'll be doing a video series on each of them. But in this case, we're going to do a wealth item and a property owned by the joint, Matthew and Jane. The purpose of this property is principal residence. And let's call the property name Home. I'll put in the address. I'll create a liability and map it in a separate video. And the transaction date, the property was purchased in 2020, 1st of January, for $1.5 million and had $30,000 worth of transaction costs. Now, you have the ability to apply a growth rate, whether it be a positive or negative figure, and this allows the price of the current value of the property to increase or decrease over time from the purchase price date. So in this case, let's apply a 5% annual growth rate, and we click Save and Closed. Now what it's done is created a line item for the property type, provider as principal residence for the client entity, and it shows the rest of the details. Now if we click on the subsequent tabs, this is an expanded view. Look, I can shut it here, and that would be a contracted view. When you've got number of items, you go into the expanded view. Under account details, it shows all of the details you entered. You can only enter into the software a single principal residence, obviously, but can have multiple properties. There's a tab for income and expenditure where you can add income items and expense items for the property if required. Under transactions, you can add transactions. The initial transaction being the purchase is in with all of its details. You can click add and select the transaction type, whether it's a change in the growth rate, change in market value, other, renovation, or sell. And then under property price, this is where we have the initial transaction. We applied a growth rate of 5%. It worked out a daily rate of that 5% and took the 1.5 mil with transaction costs and has calculated a unit price as of today's date. Now if we minimize this line item and proceed to portfolio. Now in portfolio, you can see the three entities, Matthew Lyon, Jane Lyon, and Matthew and Jane the joint. You can also see the cost base, current value, profit and loss, and percentage of portfolio across the entities. Matthew and Jane are the only one with the holding, which is the home. You can see one quantity, cost base 1.5 million, 30,000. The current value, profit and loss, percentage of entity, and percentage of portfolio. If you expand the line item, you can see under property details, the details of the property, the original transaction. This is where you'll see any income and expenditure, depreciation, and capital gains. In subsequent videos, I'll show you more details around functions and getting the most out of property.